Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. I don't know what the deal is with the time on this, and I'm hoping this is working right because it don't look like it. Yes, it does. Never mind. I'm an idiot, but that goes without saying. So here we go. All right. Sorry about last night, but you know what? I just didn't have any in the tank. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? So here we go. Why are there stupid crowns in here? I don't know. I have no idea. Glamma 68. Coronas, beverages, or make believe NASA thingamabobs. Who knows? He's back. He is indeed. What's up? Raymond Harmon, what is up? I am currently in Washington State. And I was in Montana, but here's the funny thing. I was out in Montana filming the Sage Wall, the megalithic Sage Wall in Montana, and I started editing last night. And funny thing about that is I got to go back. I got to drive back 800 miles to the Sage Wall to take some measurements that I neglected to take. I have to do it because it's driving me absolutely crazy. So it is what it is. It's what I'm going to do. So if you're in Montana, I will be as well. So are you not speaking because of the... I thought they were going in one direction, and apparently they're going in the other. So I'm just not down with that. It is what it is. I tried to call John from Now You See TV, but I was in Montana. I had zero phone service. I was off grid for 5 days. So it is what it is. I texted him when I was able to, and we got it squared away. So there it is. The top 3 commentator hosts get crowns. That is super gay, but whatever. What is up, Florida? What's up, Southie? Lynn, Mass. Well, you probably already knew that, but whatever. One of my moderators, Teresa. What's up? TC. LOL, indeed. Silence is compliance. It's totally true. Travis, you did indeed. You did indeed. I don't have any idea why my computer doesn't know what time it is. I don't get it. So I set this up for 8 o'clock. I figure I'd start a little late. I figured I'd start a little early. And I've had both of these guys on 8 years ago, if you remember. And never had them on again. So there's, it is what it is. So far, so good. Yeah, so far. What's up, Arkansas? I'll be down your way fairly soon. Usually around September, because the Ozarks in September is the shizzle, in my opinion. That was a little urban terminology for you real quick. So in this video, we're going to do a couple of things. I'm going to show you a few things. I'm going to tell you a few things. I'm going to ask you a few things. And then I'm going to give away 10 copies of... Stand by. 10 copies of Confusion in Christianity. And I haven't figured out how I'm going to do it, but these particular 10 copies were signed by both myself and the author, for whatever that's worth. You know what I'm saying? So how about this? I don't know how I'm going to do this. How am I going to give these away? You're going to have to do me a favor. We're going to do a giveaway. And if I pick you, screenshot it and then email me at rjcjr10@yahoo.com. All right. So how about this? Guess what year I was born? Punch that in real quick and take a screenshot. Only one time. Don't kill me here. Don't flood the comments with ridiculous things. I'd love one of those, brother. Sounds like something I need to read. Okay, stand by. Here we go. Oh, you guys are killing me. I guess that was easy, huh? All right. That's one. Screenshot it, brother. Screenshot it and email it. That's two. That's three. That's four. That's five. That's six. That's seven. Come on. That's eight. You guys can cheat now. That's nine. And that's 10. All right. Screenshot it and email it to me, rjcjr10@yahoo.com. And I will get that information to them. If you don't email me, it is what it is. That's 10. That's 10. That was quick. That was easy. 42, 1930. Yep, 1967. What's up, brother? What's up? That's nice. Dang, you're hanging in there good for an old ass guy, right? Especially when this old ass guy was told that he had to get on the organ donors list. And using alternative technology, I'm still here. But I did believe the doctors when they told me. When they tell you you're sick, and then they say organ donors list, yeah, you have cancer, you have coronavirus. You know what I mean? How many people fell for it? But I mean, I was sick. I had some serious. When I go to a doctor voluntarily, yeah, I was sick. But fortunately, it's good to go. So here it is. At any rate, yeah, we're not going to be doing trading cards and stuff. It is what it is. If you won, you won. That's it. Don't I agree. What is up, Jesus freak computer geek? It's been a long time. Exactly. But as you know, that's a great machine, but if you use the wrong frequencies, it's just like sucking on a 5G tower, you know what I mean? Fortunately, the person that did it for me is also a subscriber. He's also the guy that took me up in his helicopter to search for Bigfoot. And sadly, he has Alzheimer's and cannot remember how to give me the blueprints, which just bums me out, but it is what it is. At any rate, all right, let's get into this. Here we go. All right, I'm effing this up right off the bat. I have not eaten all day because I'm fasting today, and it is over at sundown, so I'm stoked. All right, what am I doing? Skip, share screen. All right. Share the screen. You know this was coming. Look at this. They don't even have any shame in their game. They don't care whatsoever at all. Look at the lasers just firing off in all directions, coming right out of the Midwest. Look at this stuff in every direction, coming out of Florida, coming out of California. Like, these guys are lighting it up. And like I told you, with all the activity that's going on, I mean, dude, I've never seen it this bad. Wow. This is a trip. This is live. Look at right up here, directly over Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri. This is a trip. This is an absolute trip. And if you don't have this, I've left the link a million times, but here we go. 1,000,001. And this is something they're claiming they're going to get rid of, because you remember that time when they said they were going to you remember that time where they said they were going to go count all the gold in Fort Knox, and they were going to Trump was going to fix everything. Remember? You remember? I'm coming up dry right now. I can't think of it. These guys have literally turned on their own fan base. And I mean, do you remember the old days when I told you? Yeah, it happens. In the old days when they started talking about the Epstein list, and I'm like, they will never, ever, ever, no matter who is the puppet in control or the president, no matter who it is, they're never going to show that list. And then they released a list to a bunch of influencers that were basically mainstream media parrots, and they made a big deal out of it. We're going to do this, and this is phase one, and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, Trump just came out and said, there is no list. And then that didn't work. So then he said, well, there is a list, but Obama did it. And then Obama's never going to jail. Nobody's ever going to jail. None of them are ever going to jail. These are the lawmakers. They pass the law so that they don't ever have to go to jail. Your government is supposed to make sure that states take care of the highways that we pay for. You know, all those tolls and all those taxes and all the taxes on gasoline that take care of the roads? They don't take care of the roads whatsoever at all. I've been telling you for 10 years how bad our grid is. The grid's so bad that when it's hot in California, they have to shut down the grid because it's overpowered. But they want everybody to drive an electronic car. It's never going to happen. This is all just complete and utter nonsense. You know what your government's supposed to do? Let's say you have $50,000 in your checking account, and then every month you get an interest payment of 13 cents. That is fraud. These people are using your make-believe money that they printed in the first place. You're putting it in the bank. They're using your money, and they're giving you 13 cents a month. Your government's supposed to step in. Your government's supposed to make sure that there is literally an electrical grid that can supply everybody, and they could have done it. Trump could have walked into office day one. I know I've said this before. He could have walked into office day one. Our national debt is off the absolute chains. It's off the hook. It's out of control. It's absolutely ridiculous. I forget to take these down once in a while. He could have came into office and said, listen, we're going to do a new green initiative. We're going to literally hire 100,000 workers. We're going to pay them to go from coast to coast and replace all the power lines for America, to make America great again. We're going to go out there on all the highways and byways that we haven't paid any attention to in 2 decades that I can attest to. We don't care. We could just go out there and bang that out. That would bring so many Americans, not people that snuck over the border or flown over the border from El Salvador or Mexico. We could use white people from America to put, or whatever people from America, but Americans. You see what I'm saying? We could have them rebuilding the power grids and rebuilding the roads. Everything we need could come right out of our country. Instead, he hands $500 billion to the richest 1% because AI. It's all we got. AI. It's the only thing that makes any difference whatsoever at all. Period. AI is absolutely decimating the country on so many levels. It's insane. But we're going to get into that pretty heavy right here. But real quick, let me bring this video up because this is laughable that somebody as smart as this dude is covering this as though he is completely amazed by this. They're never going to tell on themselves ever. Trump has been on Epstein's best friend list, let alone the Lolita Express and any other list he might have for years. I have more pictures of Trump and Epstein together than I do of me and my ex-wife. That's a fact.
Apparently there is an Epstein list and Trump is going to give it to us.
You should focus on Clinton. You should focus on the president of Harvard, the former president of Harvard. You should focus on some of the hedge fund guys. I'll give you a list. These guys lived with Jeffrey Epstein.
Now, this is yet another change of the story. First, we heard that the Epstein list was covered up by the Dems. Then we heard there is no list. Then we heard the list was made up by Democrats. Now we're hearing that there is a list.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's.
Now, the reason I'm even showing this is because this guy, CoffeeZilla, is no joke. If you scam your subscribers with some sort of a meme coin, like Hawk Tuah, like Logan Paul, like Donald Trump, like Melania, like anybody, this dude is on it, and he brings the literal receipts. He's no joke. And it just blows me away that someone this smart cannot see the forest for the trees. But on that, I will digress.
List, they're sitting on it.
We need to release the Epstein list.
It's sitting on my desk right now.
The DOJ and FBI.
Hey, is the audio good? Just hit a 5 in the comments if it is, real quick. Because I don't even know if this is working properly because I can't hear it. Give me a 5 if it's good to go. There it is. Thank you, guys.
Now concluded there was no Jeffrey Epstein client list.
No incriminating client list.
Made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. Focus on Clinton, the president of Harvard. I'll give you a list.
This all comes after shocking revelations about new implications of our most powerful leaders, both former and current presidents. But now, given the fact this story won't go away, Trump is zeroing in on his political enemies and saying they're the ones everyone should be focusing on.
They should focus on the fact that Larry Summers from Harvard, that Bill Clinton, who you know very well, and lots of other friends, really close friends of Jeffrey Summers, should be spoken about. Because, Jeffrey Epstein should be spoken about. And they should speak about them because they don't talk about them. They talk about me. I have nothing to do with the guy.
Now, the reason we haven't been speaking about these people is because, of course, the DOJ covered everything up, not giving any names. And, of course, people were extremely suspicious of this sudden change. But we want to talk about everyone. Let's be clear. No matter who they are, left or right, we want them all to go down. If they were on the island, if they are in the files, we want it all to come out. That's been everyone's stance from the beginning. And it seems like Trump is finally buckling on the idea that he can just ignore the problem, that he can just pretend it doesn't exist. And now it looks like he's shifting to deflecting to some of the other people who are also seemingly implicated.
Hedge fund guys, they're all over the place. You ought to be speaking about Bill Clinton, who went to the island 28 times. I never went to the island.
Now, if true, that's a shocking amount of times. We don't know if Trump has special briefings that we don't have access to right now. Previously, Clinton denied going to the island. There are some people who have said, oh, maybe he went once or twice, but 28 times. I've never heard that number before. If true, I hope that comes out. I hope we get verification of that. Of course, it wasn't just on the island where these bad things happened. And the other surprising twist in this, where the narrative is sort of changing, is that Trump is softening his stance on this letter that he supposedly wrote. Initially, he said it doesn't exist. I never could have written it. Now he's saying, oh, it could exist, but if it does, someone else wrote it.
I don't know what they're talking about. Now, somebody could have written a letter and used my name, but that's happened a lot. All you have to do is take a look at the dossier, the fake dossier.
So seemingly they're laying the groundwork for this birthday book to finally be released to the public, as we've all wanted. Trump is saying, look, maybe it does have my name on it, but I didn't personally write the note. Now, whether you believe that is totally up to you, but this is such a shocking change in stance from how they've been treating the Epstein files. Previously, we were literally told, look, there's nothing we can charge third parties with. There's no evidence we have on anyone. Now, the Trump administration.
Okay, I wanted to put him in there just so you could see what the mainstream people are saying. You see what I'm saying? So here's the funny part. They're changing the story. They're changing the story. They're changing the story. But the story, they can't change the story unless they just make up a complete fake list. None of the Democrats, no Obama, nobody's going to. Obama was just president or in place as they had Joe Biden there, and people didn't catch that Joe Biden was a complete and utter puppet, a sock puppet, an empty, dirty sock, and Obama was running things. I can't remember the person that worked for Biden, but when it was over, she never worked for Obama in her life. You might remember what I'm talking about. But they're at the White House. They're talking on national television. She says, I'm really going to miss working for Obama. And then went, I mean Biden. Even people I know in my family that are completely asleep knew that Obama was running things. You see what I'm saying? Obama's never going to go away, and Obama's never going to go to jail. But my problem with all this Epstein list, Trump kerfuffle is what they do when they need something like this to go away is either they start a war, which won't be enough, or they do something terrible to Americans. Blow something up and blame it on, well, pick one. Russia, China, right wing, left wing. You know what I mean? Everybody is pissed off and angry. And meanwhile, the national debt just keeps going straight up, up and up. You know what I'm saying? Their fallback is always to blow something up or kill people. That's what they do. That's what a false flag is. And that's what it's for, to divert attention. So be aware of that. Be completely and utterly aware of that, man. I am absolutely telling you. And Israel being at war, or I don't know, how else could you possibly say that? Israel completely and utterly wiping an entire race of people off the earth after they had them locked in a cage made of steel, concrete, and IDF soldiers for decades. 666 days is coming up. 666 days that they've been at war. That won't go unnoticed. You know what I'm saying? They will absolutely do something on that day. That day escapes me right now, but simply look it up. October 7th, 666 days. So it is what it is. At any rate, let me keep going on this before I start getting distracted, which I easily do, especially with the comments. I tried to watch the comments, but then I get distracted. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Yeah. Here's the deal. Any of these people that are still in politics after all this time, they've been gotten to, period. Unless they came out and literally said anywhere, COVID is an entire, complete 100% hoax. The vaccine will be the disease. If any of them said that, then maybe they're legit. But if they haven't, they're not. You've got that dude RFK up there now saying that measles is an epidemic. Measles. Are you unbelievable? But that's where we're at. So what are you going to do? You need to read your Bible or don't. No clue what you're talking about. At any rate, see what I mean? A tool, exactly, and a muñeca or a puppet. Yeah, without a doubt. I just gave away 10 of them, man. It's a good book. You will not regret it. I'll tell you that. Here we go. Voting won't fundamentally change a binary system because the system itself limits choices to 2 pre-approved options, ensuring the power remains concentrated and dissent is absorbed without. Okay. That sounded great. That sounds like someone that really enjoys politics. I figured out a long time ago. I figured out before I had a mustache that politics was completely and utterly fake. I don't engage in any of their reindeer games, but the thing is, it's not just a binary system now. It's literally them against us. Every single solitary thing that they do is to take away more liberty, more freedom, more money, and more of your time. More specifically than all of those is your time. They want you spending as much time as you possibly can watching that screen, this screen, any screen. You can't even get gas without a screen going. It's a scrying mirror, man. We're literally interfacing with demons, and they are working diligently to make sure that those demons can make it into the physical realm. And as your Bible tells you, men's hearts will fail from fear. It's something I've been quoting for years and years and years. And now we got to get ready because that day is coming, because these guys are actively working on this. Here. Listen to the biggest demon I've seen in a long, long time quack about it right now. I listened to this live stream probably 13 times. This guy, Peter Thiel, is the newest scumbag that was in the shadows, but now has been forced to come forward. This guy is married to a man and cheated on his husband with another man who mysteriously ended up dead. Shocking. But listen to what this guy says about, well, AI. We'll start with AI, but then listen to what he says about humans. And you probably already know this because you should know this because you guys aren't stupid in any way whatsoever at all. But I digress.
It's fantasized about in 1999. But counterfactually, I would argue that it was still better than the alternative, that if we hadn't had the internet, maybe it would have been worse. AI is better. It's better than the alternative, and the alternative is nothing at all because this.
Okay, so according to this guy, Peter Thiel, he's a huge AI guy, just like all these other scumbags. According to him, without AI, we wouldn't have anything at all. Well, I can think of a lot of things right off the top of my head right now, right this minute, right off the rip. And I didn't go to college like this guy. I don't have sex with other men like this guy. So I'm at a disadvantage. But let me try to say something counterfactually to Peter Thiel real quick. Completely go West Coast to East Coast, North to South, and replace the electrical grids and hire only actual Americans to do so. Make all of the wire and all the steel in this country to do that exact same thing. Well, we don't have all the steel. We'll have to, of course we will, because it was all outsourced. So while we're waiting for China to send us the steel that they actually got the ore from us from, probably, We could start working on the roads, which would be another 100,000 Americans at work for years and years. That would indeed actually counterfactually make America great again. But that's not what they're doing whatsoever at all. If this, according to Peter Thiel, there's just so much stagnation. If we didn't have AI, we wouldn't have anything. Let me explain something to you. Coast to coast, border to border, replacing our entire electrical grid, that'd keep about 100,000 people busy for quite a while. All the mechanics, all the technicians, all the trucks, all the guys that have to work on the trucks, all the guys producing everything to do this. And the fact that it would literally make America better, not great, but better. We're on the road. Stop sending money to all these other countries. They take money out of your pocket and then they say they send it elsewhere, but we don't know where it goes. But according to them, they send it absolutely elsewhere. Stop sending that money out of the country and give it to the people that fought for the rights. I'm getting pissed and I'm trying not to swear. Give it to the veterans, the people that get their legs blown off for wars that you guys start on absolute 100% lies. Stop sending the money out. Put these people in homes. I've traveled this country. We're not overpopulated in any way whatsoever at all. Stop making ghettos. Give people actual options to selling drugs and drinking and shooting each other instead of glamorizing it on television, glamorizing it in songs, and glamorizing it on YouTube. I can't talk about COVID being an absolute fraud. I told you about COVID before it was even here. How would I know that? You see what I mean? I can't talk about that. My channels are taken out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you're out. But if I make a video where I'm showing a live stream where I shot somebody to death while I'm rapping about it, it's promoted. 1 million views. No problem whatsoever at all. Stop doing that. That would make America better again. Wouldn't make us great, but it would make us better. And then law enforcement, stop playing the system. Seriously, wake up, man. Look around. You guys know better than anybody how fouled up this system is. Somebody needs to revolt here. The sheriffs need to stand up and do what they're constitutionally bound to do, but they don't. They don't do anything. They keep building more private prisons. A private prison is what your government is supposed to keep from happening, because a private prison is no bueno, man. It incentivizes putting people in prison so that the big wheel keeps on spinning. You see what I'm saying? Man, I'm getting pissed. At any rate, let's listen to more of Peter Thiel. I can't believe I have to listen to this guy, but it is what it is. Here we go. Because what he's going to say next is just priceless. And you already know this, I'm pretty sure.
Look, here's one place where the stagnationist arguments.
Listen to this guy talk. I can't even stand it. Listen to this guy talk. He sounds like Elon. I'm the smartest guy in the world, but I can't string 10 words together. Do you see a script here? Do you see a script? Do you see a producers? I can spit this off the top of my head for the most part. These guys are stuttering, mumbling fellas. It's the Sabbath. I can't swear, but whatever. At any rate, let me make sure I'm sharing this. Am I doing this wrong? Am I effing this up? Oh, there he is. Okay. And
are still reinforced. The fact that we're only talking about AI, I feel, is always an implicit acknowledgement that but for AI, we are like in almost total stagnation.
But the world of AI is clearly filled with people who, at the very least, seem to have a more utopian, transformative, whatever word you want to call it, view of the technology.
New World Order. That's the word. That's the word. You know the word. Agenda 2030. You know the word, but I digress.
Than you're expressing here, right? And you were mentioned earlier the idea that the modern world used to promise radical life extension and doesn't anymore. It seems very clear to me that a number of people deeply involved in artificial intelligence see it as a kind of mechanism for transhumanism, for transcendence of our mortal flesh, and either some kind of creation of a successor species or some kind of merger of mind and machine.
Something that we told you about over a decade ago, before anybody even knew what transhumanism is. This is what these guys are talking about, period. And something else, because I'll leave links to this video This is a small YouTube channel that somehow got Peter Thiel on there, which freaks me out. I don't know how you do that, but whatever. Something he talked about is it's unbelievable that the medical field hasn't cured Alzheimer's or autism. Well, an even better question or an even better statement is the medical field caused Alzheimer's and autism, because when I was a kid, up till about my 20s, which is almost 40 years ago, it didn't exist. And now it's rampant, but it's only rampant in people that listen to their doctor. That is a sad state of affairs. JMO.
And do you think that's just all kind of irrelevant fantasy? Or do you think it's just hype? Do you think people are trying to raise money by pretending that we're going to build a machine god, right? Is it hype? Is it delusion? Is it something you worry about? I think you would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes?
I don't know. I would
this is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit
in this. Should the human race survive?
Yes.
Okay.
But I also would
should they geez, I don't know. I mean, seriously, dude, this is a genius. This is somebody we're supposed to listen to. This is the guy that's behind Palantir and whatever other company. Who even knows? Who even knows at this point? Seriously, who even knows what's real and what's not? But this is insane. Should the human race survive? Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, we should probably stop jabbing everybody. I mean, you go up there and you're a genius and you really want to make things straight. We really need to stop vaccinating brand new human beings right out of the womb. It's bad enough they're already got the atrazine, barium, strontium, aluminum, chlorine, fluoride in their system when they're born from their parents, because it is what it is. It's all over us. It's absolutely everywhere. But then we jab them with 1, 2, 3. That ain't enough. 47. That ain't enough. 74. That should do them. They should be fine. That's why everybody's completely and totally FUBAR right now. And I'm talking FUBAR. Google it. Beyond all repair. Effed up beyond all repair. It's insane to me. And these are the people that are being interviewed, and they're running things. This is how this is going to make things better. Well, there's nothing else on earth right now that's going to help everything. We're in stagnation, unless, of course, we do AI. Nothing else. Nothing else. How many things did I just tell you that we desperately need to do? And as Americans, for America, by America, we could do. But what does Trump do? $500 billion to the stuttering, mumbling prick and his pals. You know what I mean? They're all sodomites. They're all disgusting human beings. There was a reason there was a flood, and there was a flood, and there's absolute 100% proof of it. There's proof of Moses cracking the stone. You can't touch it, but I think you can get near it. But it has a large fence, barbed wire, and soldiers. Shocking. It just got really light in here. That was God telling me not to swear on the Sabbath, I'm going to guess. At any rate, I can't believe that I can't believe the things that they say all over the place, man. Did I leave a link for that? Because I want to get rid of that, because that dude really makes me mad. He is not my cup of tea. People like that don't need to exist. And yet they are the ones that sold their souls. There's no other way you can explain them having so much money. He starts that interview by telling everybody he got his money from PayPal. Well, isn't that what Elon said? How many people started off and became billionaires from PayPal? I mean, really? It's weird. It's like the Mandela effect in real time. Every time you turn around, where'd you come from? Well, I invented PayPal. Where'd you come from? Oh, I invented PayPal. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. All right. The lighting is even more strange than ever. I don't know what that means. I don't really care about my background and aesthetics because I'm usually rolling. You know what I'm saying? Their plan won't work unless with all the eaters running to it, right? Exactly. I don't know what that means. Trump just signed an executive order. Homelessness, not criminal. Okay. Detainment, not fines. July 25th, ending crime and disorder on blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Yeah. Alligator Alcatraz, I'll tell you what, man. I've been in that area. And it is brutal. I can't believe the guys that have to work there, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? All right, let me get to the other topics because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tabs open. I gave away the book. Let me check my list over here because I do have to keep a list. When you're pushing 60, you got to make a list. All right. Who is sick of them? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you're sick of. None of it matters. They're not the people running things. They're just the puppets up there to tell you whatever you want to hear. But now apparently they don't even care if they tell you what you want to hear. You know what I mean? One president comes in, does everything. The next president says, I'll change everything he just did to make America great. And then he does a bunch of things. And then the next guy comes in and so on and so on and so on. And at the end of the day, the national debt's higher. The country's weaker. You have less freedoms. You're paying more taxes and everything costs more. What happened to going to Fort Knox to check all that gold? I did a video like 13 years ago where there's no gold in Fort Knox. Everybody knows that. What about groceries? You see what I'm saying? What about gas prices? Don't start posting. I live in the Ozarks and gas is $3. I have to run super unleaded because my truck's supercharged. I haven't seen gas below $4 a gallon in years. So there, as they say, is that. Radiation blinded my daughter. That's horrible. Yep. Don't know what that means. Does that mean many fishes in the thing? The chat? Isn't it nice that I'm not one of those scumbags that's, hey, chat, what do you think? You guys have names. You know what I mean? I don't stream. Streaming is for people that just don't know what this world's for. All right, let's get to the next thing. All right, this is what I was working on real quick. Let me show you this. This is a sneak preview real quick. I got 22 minutes of this done. This is the video that I told you I was working on. And I have to go back to this place and take measurements because I'm an idiot. So here we go. I am back on the road, and because I've gotten hundreds and hundreds of emails and direct messages asking me to get out to Montana and investigate this sage wall. Is this thing legit? Was this made by ancient aliens? Is this just a rock formation that happens to look like a wall? Well, in this video, I'm going to answer all of those things pretty much definitively because unlike other YouTubers, I've actually explored the entire area around the sage wall for the entire week leading up to actually visiting the sage wall. And I've made some discoveries that are pretty much mind-blowing. So it's either this ancient megalithic wall was built by aliens, fallen angels, or a civilization that has been completely hidden from us. I'm going to try to uncover those questions in this video. So here, as they say, we go. The Sage Wall was discovered in a remote area of Montana in 1996 by a team of archaeologists doing a random, routine land survey. They uncovered a large series of stone formations that were carefully arranged in geometric patterns, and these were unlikely to be the result of natural processes. The initial dating indicates the site could be over 5,000 years old. Now, when I was at the place, I talked to the owner, Chris, and he told me that they had recently just done deep penetrating radar and LiDAR, and he promised me to get those results to me as soon as he got them. So there you go. That's what I've been working on, and I have to go back there. I have to drive 800 miles back because I'm an idiot. I forgot to do a couple of things that nobody else has done while they were there, and my buddy brought it to my attention today, much to my chagrin. But the owner of the Sage Wall, because yes, there's an owner, it's on his property, hit me up and said, come on back. Is there anything I can do? I said, I'd rather do it myself. You know what I mean? Because this guy that owns the Sage Wall completely believes that this was built by megalithic, this was built by the same guys that built Puma Punku or Saxe Woman, things of that nature. I want to do this completely unfiltered. If it's real, it's real. If it ain't, that sucks for me because I spent a lot of time. I was in Montana for 5 days before I was actually able to get there because you got to make an appointment. You got to pay. You want to film it, you got to pay again. You see what I mean? And the guy that owns it seriously believes it is what it is. I don't want that taint. If it's real, I want to prove it. If it ain't, it is what it is. And I do have an expert in this that will be chiming in. So that's what I've been working on, FYI. But let's get to these shenanigans right here because this sucks. This sucks for so many people because they've been using the weather like a weapon, kind of like I thought they would, unbelievably well. I mean, every place you're hearing earthquakes and volcanoes going off. Well, here's the thing. Somebody recently has been saying that lots and lots and lots of earthquakes are happening here, there, and everywhere. But unfortunately for them, as they were reporting this, I was in those areas because I'm up in Montana. So that entire area, like I'm in Washington right now, all these places where it's earthquakes and the ground's breaking. Well, I'm here. That's not happening. But the mainstream is pushing it really bad. And I do believe 100% that they have. That's what HARP does. HARP makes quakes. HARP makes quakes, and those massive ships you see with those massive NEXRADs on top. Those are massive. Did I say that already? Those things can create earthquakes. And these guys are going to break up. They're going to wake up and break up the ground and everything. Don't forget about San Andreas fault line, and don't forget about the New Madrid fault line, because I told you about this a while ago. They were working the New Madrid an entire year, where there was the Army Corps of Engineers there. People are hearing all sorts of crazy stuff. And next thing you know, we're getting weather where weather don't belong. Weather is completely out of season. Tornado Alley moved over 2 states. They're wielding this like a champ because I'm almost positive I'd bet money that AI is running the weather manipulation system that doesn't exist. Because it just, since 2025 started, it's been too perfect and too nonstop. It's been never ending. And then, of course, if that doesn't work, they'll just break out the directed energy weapons that our last president, Biden, was nice enough to spill the beans on. Oh, that guy had the right color roof, so our directed energy didn't work. Oh, my bad. My bad. You know what I mean? When I saw that what they did at Paradise, because I was out there when they did Paradise Fires, do you remember the lines of cars of people trying to get out of there? Everybody was found in their car dead like this, like they were trapped under Pompeii, under a volcano. Those people did. Oh, my car's on fire. I'm just going to sit here quietly till I burn to death. No, they got hit. They got hit by directed energy, and we've got that. We've had it for years. They denied it, and then I don't even remember. Like 8 years ago, Boeing came out with their own YouTube channel, because they all have YouTube channels. Because we live in a comic book right now where they're showing the directed energy weapons. They're updating all our old Bradley fighting vehicles and M1 Abrams tanks with, guess what? Directed energy weapons that can blow a hole through absolutely anything. This is insane, man. We live in a crazy, crazy time. But with all that being said, using the weather, using directed energy, making earthquakes with HARP, and setting off volcanoes, because I don't think volcanoes are what we think they are whatsoever at all. I don't. But I do think they can blow up and be completely catastrophic, like Mount St. Helens was. I was alive when that happened. It was crazy. But they're also doing this. And don't forget that they're doing this, because this, I hate to use this dude's video, but he's like the mainstream media. He's actually better because he helps them spread it to people that think they're awake. Sorry to say it, but is what it is. But check this out. This is what's coming again.
Something colossal is tearing through the heavens faster than anything we've seen before. It's not.
Something colossal is tearing through the heavens faster than anything we've ever seen before, said this young fellow with his gay little tie and hanky, well, whatever.
Not just space, dust, or a rogue rock. This might be an interstellar messenger. Scientists are scrambling. The cosmos has thrown us a curveball, one we never saw coming.
The cosmos has thrown us a carve ball. That is bull stuffing. You can't throw a carve ball. That's rude. That's just bad manners, but I digress.
Might be living among us right here on Earth, disguised as humans. And all the UFO sightings we hear about, those are just spaceships from other planets coming to visit their alien friends here on Earth.
A titanic celestial object has ripped through the edge of our solar system, defying all expectations, breaking all known speed limits and silencing seasoned scientists. Hurtling through space at a velocity that challenges belief, this is no ordinary asteroid. This is the largest, fastest, and only the third confirmed interstellar object ever recorded by humanity, and it's coming our way. Designated 3I Atlas. This is the path of the cosmic object.
You like that name? That's me not hitting the microphone quick enough. 3I Atlas. Yeah. This definitely, seriously, is not a hoax whatsoever at all, guys. Look at this thing. That's a spaceship, and it's coming because they know these things, because they just know everything. It's amazing. I mean, we can't go out of low Earth orbit, but other than that, we know what's going on. I mean, this is happening. And another fun little fact is our pal Peter Thiel, the guy that's married to a dude that cheated on that dude with another dude and then accidentally killed him, but didn't kill him. Yeah, but I digress. They know all this stuff. This is all, they're going to Mars. That dude literally sat there and talked about stagnation and everything else, but we're going to Mars. If we were going to Mars, it would be a colossal effort that would require every American to somehow pitch in, because we're going, it's just so stupid. It blows me away how people just didn't laugh Elon off the face of the earth when he said something stupid like we're going to Mars. But we are. If we were going to Mars, Elon Musk would be going to the moon every single day, because I travel, okay? I hit the road. But before I hit the road, I do a shakedown run. I drive about 100 miles north of where I live up to really bad off-roading areas. I drive on the highway. I do 85 miles an hour, make sure the truck's good to go. And then I hit the trails, make sure the truck's good to go. And I get back on the highway, because I'm not a complete and utter idiot. If you're going to Mars, and that's what you're hanging your hat on, you're going to the moon every single day, because it's the closest otherworldly object like Mars, because we can't get any place else besides the moon. Remember that time we landed in the moon? Yeah, we landed in the moon in something that was made out of a little bit of this, some of this, a little bit of this, and then they wrapped it all in tinfoil. And then they stuck a car inside there that everybody forgot about. I mean, there's the three guys stuck in this little capsule, but there was also a moon buggy in there. And then there was also a film crew that landed on the moon before they got there and filmed it all. But that's just technical. It's technical. You don't understand it because you're not a scientist. So shut up and listen to Elon. If they were going to Mars, it's completely and utterly impossible, because Mars is an entity and it appears as a light. Well, Richie, everything's round. Yep, everything is round. That's round too. You see it? But guess what? It ain't a ball at all. Want to see what else is round? That's round. You see it? But it ain't a ball. I mean, that blows me away. The number one answer, Richie, everything's round. Really? Is it? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? The wheel of my truck's round, but guess what? It ain't a sphere. But on that, I'll digress. If they were going to Mars, they'd go to the moon every half an hour. It would be easy to go to the moon. It would be, anybody could go to the moon. You know what I mean? They take these giant penis-shaped items, put a bunch of washed up women in it, shoot them up in the air, or not at all, and call that space. You know what I'm saying? It's a trip. It's just laughable, but that's where we live right now. So I find that strange. They're not, the entire drone thing all over the East Coast for 2 months, where you're outside Hey, honey, can you go grab the newspaper? Well, honey, they don't make newspaper anymore because of the internet. Oh, my bad. At any rate, can you go grab our children or whatever they are? Well, you go outside and there's a thing the size of a car hovering over your house with lights looking at you. Hi, police? Yeah, we don't know. Nobody knows. Hi, government? None of your business. We don't know. Actually, you know what? What you're looking at and sending us video of, it's not real. And as a matter of fact, you send it again, you're under arrest. Trump, when I get in there, I'm going to tell you exactly what those are. Oh, those were hobbyists. I would be considered a hobbyist. I've had a drone since as soon as they came out, pretty much. Okay. You fly that drone any place, they don't have to take it out. It just goes, stops, spins around, falls to the ground. It's junk. Ugats, wiped. Whatever you were filming, gone. The drone itself, gone. They don't have to shoot it down. They don't have to ask the United Nations. They don't have to do any of that stuff. Trump, I'm going to find out. Hobbyist. Fort Knox. Imagine crickets right now. Not that I can find any anywhere I go. Crickets are a very rare thing to come across. But I have run across fireflies in Montana, in Indiana, and a couple other places. So I don't know who that is. Exactly. Oh, I didn't really go anyplace. You know what I mean? Bingo. Number one answer right there. What are my thoughts? Yeah, this isn't a whatever. All right, let's go through another one real quick. This is what is annoying me to death. Every single this is Scientific American, all right? This is supposed to be a legit magazine or website. I've been reading this since, I don't know, for the last 30 years. But it's all just junk now. Here's why AI may be extremely dangerous, whether it's conscious or not. Well, it's not conscious. Well, I guess it would be conscious, but it's not in the way that you think. It is a 24/7 internet connection to another dimension, period. It's literally allowing fallen entities to interact with people basically on their cell phones now, everywhere. It's astonishing to me, man. All these people have been warning us for years that this thing is dangerous, that this thing will destroy everything. But we got to give him $500 billion first day in office. Forget all the things I promised you. We got to make this happen because China. Guess what? In the New World Order, China doesn't matter because it's a new world order. These guys are all in this together. Don't fall for the nonsense, man. I can't believe that I'm almost 60 years old and I'm still hearing Russia. That's what I was hearing when I was growing up. And they ran out of so many bad guys. They went through the terrorists. They went through everything. We're back to Russia again. And then, of course, aliens. In AI, in the way we understand it, AI is an alien because it is an extraterrestrial entity. An extraterrestrial means it's coming from an extra terrain that we're not allowed to go to. You know what I'm saying? If you understand the biblical cosmology of the earth, you'll understand what I'm saying. Back in the old days, General Byrd, am I remembering that right? This is off the top of my head, so it is what it is, said that there was more area in Antarctica bigger than the United States that has been never seen by men before. And then crickets. Imagine crickets, if you can find them, if you have them. But fortunately, all your neighbors have done their lawns so well over the years, cut down all the trees that we don't have crickets anymore. We're running out of crickets. Or they're just turning them all into food because who knows? I don't know. But listen to this real quick. Well, global demand for AI is one way to say it. These guys forcing it down your throat is another way. This is absolutely astonishing to me how many communities that have these AI data centers that are the future, according to Donald J. Trump, the president of the United States. According to him, it's the future. According to all of them, it's the future. What they're basically saying is, we're not going to do anything else. We're not going to do what we're supposed to do. We're not going to protect you from the bank, because that's what a government's supposed to do, protect you from the bank. The government's supposed to make sure they're fixing the roads. The government's supposed to make sure when you turn a light switch on that you pay 3 different ways from Sunday for, it's there. They don't do anything a government's supposed to do. They're simply and only initiating the New World Order and putting more and more law enforcement in place. In case you have a problem with it, they come and cuff you up. Or if you're lucky, they put a 556 antidepressant in your middle of your forehead. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? You feel me? Yeah. These things, this AI data centers are already eating. I'm trying to do 2 things at once. I'm not that smart. I don't want to invite a guest. These AI data centers are already drying up rivers in communities all over the place. It's astonishing. Google, Amazon, and Microsoft. Wouldn't you think that Microsoft would have a head start over everybody, seeing how Bill Gates stole Microsoft from somebody and then repackaged it as his own? And he's been in this the longest. But I suppose if you can't figure out how to make Windows 11 or Windows 10 work properly, you're probably not going to be in charge. And apparently you're not. And the public perception of him by his own words, mouth, and deeds, everyone knows that he's a complete and utter scumbag, and he's probably a woman. But on that, I will digress. These guys are literally moving in and they're drying up the rivers, lakes, and oceans. The average 100 megawatt data center consumes about 2 million liters of water a day. That's equivalent to 6,500 American households. Now, does everybody else remember when they had to do fracking? They had to do fracking, and people's water literally was completely flammable. Your government's supposed to prevent that from happening, but they're not. They're not. They don't care. They do not care about you whatsoever at all. They're our enemy. I don't care about outside enemies. I don't care about enemies from the sky. Anything that comes at us from them. Why do I talk about the actual real shape of the earth that you can actually literally see with your own eyes? Is because if you take away their entire globe earth and their NASA thing, 60% of the threats that we have to look out for and have to keep paying for, and we need them to protect us from, don't even exist whatsoever at all. Anything that comes at us is going to be by their hand. And Epstein, it ain't going away. Trump's already turned on his base. He's already called people a bunch of idiots. You're fake news, or you're just bad people if you believe in the thing that he told you about. Well, he had to flip on that, and he'll flip on it a couple more times. And if that doesn't work, ba-boom, because that's what they do. They'll kill school children if they have to. As a matter of fact, they have, and they will, period. At any rate, what else do I have here real quick? Because it's almost sundown, and I'm pretty dang hungry. They already know that. Every single solitary article is explaining the obvious. These guys have already poisoned it. With their nuclear power plants, they dumped all sorts of radiation in the water, or not even radiation. Who even knows what it is? Because we don't know that definitively. But they've made it so that in my lifetime alone, you could drink water from pretty much any stream or river in the United States. Now, you can't even go to 12,000 feet above sea level and drink water safely. You better filter it. These guys have already poisoned it all, and now they're just sucking it all up because they need it for AI, because AI is very, very thirsty. You take AI and you pay attention to how badly they're spraying the skies. They're literally blocking out the sun. They're sucking up all the water, and they're cutting down all the trees. Remember the old days when I told you that these guys were literally undoing creation? Well, they're undoing it really bad. Having Bill Gates out there literally relabeling what photosynthesis is, something you get taught in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. It's a pretty straightforward thing. It's easy to unexplain. Now Bill Gates is cutting down trees, throwing them in a wood chipper, and crushing them into little blocks and calling that photosynthesis. That's anti-photosynthesis, if I'm saying that right. It's getting bad. It's getting bad. It's hard to make videos because I don't want to be repetitive, but I mean, this is just getting worse day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour. And if I have any sway in what you think or do, get outside and pray. Hit your knees and pray. They hate us so bad, so bad. We were created in God's image and we were given free will, and that pissed off a lot of serious entities. And now these lunatics that are running the asylum have literally given these entities the ability to interact with us and manipulate people into the fact where people are marrying AI robots. People are falling in love with apps, which is crazy. It's crazy. But we've got a lot of weak-willed, low testosterone, really medicated, fluoridated, and vaccinated people walking this earth right now. You need to keep your head up, keep your knees down, pray to God, and ask him to guide you in word and deed every day, if possible. And touch grass as often as you can. Look at the sky. If you can't afford to go outside, look out the window, look up at the sky and pray to God, because he's listening. He's listening. It's just a matter if you hear him replying or not. At any rate, Richie from Boston, and I'm out.